Hi everybody, this is Peter with BibleMoneyMatters.com talking today about cheap cell service. I can't count the number of times I've talked to people who are spending $70, $80, $100 or even more on their monthly cell phone bill for the newest iPhone, smartphone, or what have you. I can't imagine a scenario where I would ever pay that much, but there are a lot of people out there that actually are. There's so many options out there nowadays for cheap prepaid cell service or cell service otherwise through prepaid companies that allow you to have a smartphone and still have great service, good reception, good data plans, and so forth, and on the other hand, not pay through the nose to get it. We gave in and paid for and bought a premium phone 8 or 9 years ago, but at that time that meant having a phone that you could text with and so forth, and it meant having a cell phone bill of around $40 a month at that time. Now that time I thought that was pretty expensive. For us it was, at least. So at that time I decided to look around for a cheaper cell service. What I found was that quite often if you get prepaid cell phone service, it's going to be a lot cheaper than a plan through AT&T or T-Mobile or Verizon or any of the other major carriers. Instead of paying a monthly phone bill where you're paying through the nose for data plan and so forth, you're going to prepay usually for a plan that allows a certain amount of minutes, a certain amount of data, and so forth. So let me just tick off a few of these companies that are offering these prepaid phone options. The one that we're currently using is Virgin Mobile. We love it. We've been with it for, again, 8 or 9 years since we looked into it that one time. Some of the others that are out there that you can use for prepaid service that'll give you a nice cheap phone. You can still get a nice smartphone if you want to, but a cheap phone with a cheap plan so you don't have to pay through the nose. Virgin Mobile, Boost Mobile, Family Mobile, which I believe you can find at Walmart, Straight Talk, also at Walmart, Cricket, Net10, GoPhone, Verizon Wireless has a prepaid option now, as does T-Mobile, Metro PCS, US Cellular, TracFone, and there are others out there cropping up every day with new plans going against each other, trying to offer unlimited minutes, unlimited data, and so forth. So if you don't use a lot of voice or data, prepaid cell service might actually be a pretty good option for you. In our house we only call a few people on a regular basis, and usually it's between us just calling to say, hey, pick up milk or whatever. And we don't use a whole lot of email or other smartphone features. So for our house, when we switched to Virgin Mobile, we switched from a $40 a month plan down to a plan that in the end we ended up paying around $6 to $7 a month. So we were saving quite a bit of money by switching. For pricing on individual options and plans, I'm not going to go into all that right here, but just I'm going to tell you that you can save hundreds of dollars by switching to a prepaid plan, especially if you're not a heavy user. If we wanted to upgrade at Virgin Mobile to a smartphone plan, currently we just have a cheap prepaid phone here. You make phone calls, you can do some texting on here, take a picture and send that if you want to, but there's not a lot of internet browsing and stuff going on with our Virgin Mobile phones. If you want to, though, you can upgrade to an Android smartphone and still only pay $35 a month, and you get with that 300 minutes of cell time as well as unlimited data and texting. So that's a pretty good deal, I think, for a smartphone. You can get like an Android smartphone that has basically everything you need as far as web browsing, a ton of apps, and so forth. So how much can you save by doing one of these prepaid cell services? J.D. Power reports in CNN Money that the average annual wireless phone bill is now $1,152, up 52% from 2006. So that's somewhere around $96 a month for a cell phone bill. To me, that's just insane. Switching to Virgin Mobile for a $35 a month plan with unlimited text, data, and 300 minutes of talk time would save $61 a month for that average user. That's around $732 a year. That's a lot of money. With unlimited minutes talk, so if you're a heavy talker still, the most you'd end up paying is around $55 a month with Virgin Mobile, and you'd still save almost $500 a year. At our house, we ended up switching prepaid service and saving around $300 a year by making the switch. So not too bad. I'm sure you could find a ton of ways to spend that extra hundreds of dollars. There are a few cons, however, to the prepaid phone plans. First of all, you're going to usually be paying full price for your cell phone. Now, if you don't need a cell phone with a lot of frills, it's okay, because they have a ton of cell phones out there on these prepaid plans that are available for anywhere from $10 to $50, pretty cheap. But if you want one of the Android smartphones or something like that, it's going to cost anywhere from $100 to $300 or $400. So be prepared to pay for that up front, because it's not going to be subsidized by a 2-year contract like with the contract plans. There's going to be less phones to choose from. They don't have a ton of phones available on these prepaid plans. So if you really want to have that newest iPhone or the newest Android phone, that might not be available on one of these prepaid plans. Prepaid minutes can expire, so if you don't use a lot of your minutes, sometimes those minutes will expire and you'll have to buy new minutes for the next month. The plan that we're on with Virgin Mobile, the minutes don't expire. We just have to buy at least, I believe it was $20 every 3 months. We're grandfathered in on an older plan, but still. Another con is sometimes the extras are going to cost more. Not all of the plans, but some of the plans, extras like data and texting and so forth, are going to cost more. So it's important to check the plans when you're signing up to make sure you know what you're getting into with your prepaid plan. So for us, moving to a prepaid no contract cell phone plan was a no-brainer when we realized how many hundreds of dollars we'd be saving every year. We've been with Virgin Mobile for 67 years now, possibly longer, and we just love it. The service, which is on the Sprint wireless network, is great in our area, and we'd never had problems with that or with the customer service. We now get 2 cell phones for less than the cost of what we got 1 cell phone for in the past. So for us, it was a win-win situation. So while a prepaid cell phone plan may not be for everyone, especially if you're a heavy data and voice user, for most people I think it can be a win-win situation where you're going to be saving hundreds of dollars a year. So go check it out. Go to the post on BibleMoneyMatters.com, where I've got links to a ton of the different prepaid providers, or leave a comment here on the post or on YouTube as well. Love to hear your comments and hear your experience with prepaid wireless. Thanks.